Hello everyone and welcome to Sharp Dress Gaming, and today we're back with some more NPCC Season 4. This is Week 2 against another familiar face from the PGL. This is Iyokuu. His channel will be in the description below. And he is the coach of the Blackthorn Frogadiers, who we've also battled in the past. I think we have the video on the channel. I'll put it in the description. If you guys have not watched that yet, be sure to go check that out. But I want to put a little disclaimer out there for you, Iyokuu, before we start this battle. Boy, if you are getting thirsty at the beginning of this battle like you were in your Week 1 battle, go check his Week 1 battle out. This man is sitting here looking at hentai, sitting here looking at other inappropriate things that shouldn't be looking at before battle. So if you are over there getting thirsty before our battle, oof. People who are watching this, go check out this week's video from him. If he's getting thirsty, leave a comment, say Sharp is watching you. So he knows, hey, you best watch yourself. So, let's get into this battle. You can see the teams in front of you. His entire team consists of Mega Charizard X, Tapu Bulu, Starmie, Nidoking, Silvally, Diancie, Bisharp, Rotom Frost, Togetic, or Togetic, however you want to say that, Garbodor, and Sneasel. My team this week is Mega Mawile, Crocodile, Kingdra, Politoed, Jinx, and Tornadus. So I'll put a timestamp in the description if you guys want to skip right to the battle. It'll be down there. Otherwise, I'm going to go over some things quick. I won't make it too long just because I don't have a team builder. But Mega Mawile is really good against the entirety of his team outside of Mega Charizard X, Nidoking. Depends on the Silvally set. And yeah, really everything else, you can just Iron Head it, Starmie, you can Sucker Punch. So I want to bring Mega Mawile for sure. I was afraid of the Mega Charizard X, but we do have the Politoed to kind of stop him from Flare Blitzing us. He can still Earthquake, but he's also got Tapu Bulu, so Mega Mawile really thrives with the combination of both teams together. So this week we have Swords Dance, Sucker Punch, Play Rough, Iron Head on Mega Mawile, bulkier build. Because I'm not going to be trying to do too much speed control. We have a little bit, which I'll get into, but not too much this week. This week I also brought Crocodile. Crocodile really doesn't like Tapu Bulu at all. Between the grassy terrain and it being a fairy type and a grass type, it just doesn't like it. I did bring it anyway, though. There's a lot of Pokemon I did want to bring. There's a few other Pokemon I want to bring. Tangela would have been really nice. Smeargle is just always fun. Do some random things with. There was another one I think I really wanted to bring, but couldn't fit on the team. Actually, I think that's it. Yeah, I just wanted to bring Tangela and Smeargle, but I just couldn't fit them on the team, unfortunately. So this is what we have now. But Crocodile is adamant with a lot of speed, enough speed to outspeed most things on his team. Also has Earthquake, Knockoff, Iron Tail for the Tapu Bulu and the Togetic, and also the Sneasel to an extent. Frost, sorry. And Stealth Rock. In case we have a chance to, we can set up some Stealth Rocks. Spoiler, I actually think I forget he has Stealth Rocks in this battle, because like during the battle I'm like, I wish I set up, like I brought hazards, because there's a lot of switching in this battle, as you'll see. But I forgot he has Stealth Rocks for some reason. And every time he was in, I didn't want to use it, so. But then we have Kingdra, special Kingdra Swift Swim with Flash Cannon for the fairies, and Sneasel. The Rotom Frost to an extent, not really because it's neutral. Surf, Draco Meteor, and Clear Smog, which is not as strong as Hidden Power Poison. I should have probably went that route, but it also gets rid of stat changes, like if Charizard was Dragon Dancing, if Bulu had a Swords Dance or something like that. And it also has a pretty high chance to KO Bulu with the Life Orb. So that's why we have Clear Smog on the Kingdra. And we have Politoed, just another, it's a defensive Politoed this week, running almost the same set, Scald, Icy Wind, Toxic, and Parasong. We didn't see Politoed last week at all, but it also has the eject button this week, so we can get in, set up rain, take a hit, get out of there, and then get Kingdra in to start sweeping under rain, hopefully. We also have Jinx, Choice Scarf with Lovely Kiss, Icy Wind as well, so we have two Icy Wind users. I figured Icy Wind would be better than Ice Beam for the most part. Psychic and Focus Blast, which I don't want to rely on, but he does have the Bisharp, he has the Sneasel, the Rotom Frost, so maybe we can hit one of those things with the Focus Blast. And then we have Tornadus. This is our Z-Move user for the week. Is carrying Hurricane, Sludge Wave, U-turn and superpower, so kind of a mixed Tornadus. We really only want to use superpower against like the Rotom Frost, the Bisharp, and the Sneasel. And with Bisharp and Sneasel being 4 times weak to fighting, I figured we didn't need to be, we didn't have to worry about our attack stats, so we were timid nature. And then our Z move is the Flyinium Z for Supersonic Sky Strike. The whole reason I drafted Tornadus Therian was to use Supersonic Sky Strike because I like the animation for that, and Tornadus Therian just looks so threatening in it, so hopefully we get to use that this week. And as you can see, my opponent brought Sneasel, Starmie, Nidoking, Garbodor, Togetic, and Tapu Bulu. So he's got the Defog and the Rapid Spin on his team. Garbodor can set up spikes. I think it gets rocks. It gets toxic spikes as well. Tapu Bulu is really scary. Nidoking and Tapu Bulu are the 2 scariest Pokemon on his team. Either one of them could be Choice Scarfed, and that'd be really terrifying. And then Sneasel is also really fast as well. So it's going to be pretty tough. I figured he's going to want to lead something to either go against Politoed or maybe Crocodile, expecting Stealth Rock setup. So I'm going to go with Mawile, because Mawile kind of deals with everything on his team except for the Nidoking, and I'm expecting him not to lead Nidoking. So let's hop right into this and see if my prediction was good enough to get us started off here. I'm going to move my cup because it's tipped over. Alright. So we're going to see he leads off with a Sasha Gray, which is a Sneasel. I think that's a perfect name for a Sneasel. He's being thirsty, but it's a good name for the Sneasel. So Mawile has a perfect lead off here. The best thing Sneasel would get to go against Mawile is a fighting type move, and that's still neutral. So I can just Iron Head here, and it hits everything on his team super hard outside of the Starmie. But if he brings in Starmie, I can Sucker Punch, so I'm not worried about that. He's going to bring in the Garbodor, which is probably going to take the hit the best, and if I went for Play Rough for some dumb reason, like I didn't bring a Steel type move this week, it would have really eaten it up. But fortunately, I'm not a moron, and I went for Iron Head. I mean, it's not out of the question I'd go for a dumb play like Play Rough, but Iron Head was obviously the best play here. So it does a little over 50% on that one. It's kind of a roll in between 50% and just under, so we got a little bit over, and he gets the Black Sludge recovery. He goes for Pain Split. I was kind of expecting Spikes this turn, so I just went for a Swords Dance, because I know that the Garbodor can't do anything to me. I brought up Cerebi, I'm like, does he get Fire-type moves, or Earth-type moves, or Ground-type moves? Only thing he gets is Sunny Day and Spikes, so we were good to set up Swords Dance, and now we can one-hit KO everything on his team. So now he's going to set up the Spikes here. I'm like, that's fine. You can Pain Split me all you want. I'm going to just Iron Head, knock out. So Mawile picking up the first KO here, getting aftermath damage, which is kind of sad, and maybe you'll see why in a minute here, because our health is so low now, it's going to be harder for Mawile to sweep. He's going to bring in the Nidoking here, and at this point, because we're +2 Sucker Punch KOs, Nidoking no problem, unless he's invested, but I'm assuming he's not going to be, and there goes the Nidoking. Boom. Mawile picking up 2 KOs right away here. Mawile's looking really good to sweep here. Tapu Bulu is going to come in, which at best he can do, it was 47% of damage with Wood Hammer without a Choice Band. So I'm like, oh yeah, Mawile would have lived that. I was just looking at it again. But I say would have lived that because he gets the critical hit. I'm like, oh no, he has Choice Band. But no, he just gets the crit. So Mawile's sweep is out the window early. If he hadn't critted there, we most likely would have lived that because I think we were above 50 at that point. Iron Head would have KO'd this. We could have Sucker Punched the Starmie. We could have Iron Headed the Togetic. We could have Iron Headed the Sneasel. I mean, eventually those faster Pokemon would have racked up against us. But we're moving on. We didn't want to sweep anyway. We wanted this to be interesting. So so I bring in the my Tempest, the Tornadus Therian, and go for Sludge Wave. Doesn't take out the Togetic, which is in. It does a nice amount of damage, but looking at the calcs for that, I think it's max special defense. He's going to switch in the Sneasel on my U-turn, so maybe he was thinking I was choiced in some way, but yeah, U-turn is just going to bring this thing, almost knock this thing out, which is really nice. A bunch of damage on the Sneasel is nice, because we don't have to worry about it as much later on. And then I'm going to bring in Politoed, going to set up the Rain. And then hopefully we can get Kingdra in here and start sweeping. So I need the Sneasel to hit me here so I can eject button out. I believe I just go for Toxic, just in case, like, for some reason it switches. Or maybe I go for Icy Wind. It's one of those two. Icy Wind and Toxic are really good switch-in moves. Parasong kind of as well, but Parasong was really for Charizard if it wanted to start setting up here. But he's going to switch in the Togetic. I go for the Icy Wind. not as effective on Togetic as it would have been on like Tapu Bulu or something like that. But it does a nice amount of damage for Togetic being especially defensive. Well, I think he's especially defensive. I don't know. I'll have to check in with him and see what he built for that. So he's -1 speed. I'm gonna go for Toxic. I freaking miss, and then he roosts. So it's like, oh my gosh, I could have started taking a Toxic timer on him, but so far we've got crit and we missed Toxic. So at this point, I actually started writing down all the hacks against me because it's like, I mean, he's obviously not going for moves that are gonna be hacksy on him, which is really smart on his part. But then it's like, come on, can I have a crit or something? But I get the Toxic off this time. He goes for Thunder Wave, connects it, and I don't really care that I'm Thunder Waved. Oops, sorry, I hit the mic. I really don't care that I'm Thunder Waved because it's Politoed. Politoed's not made to be outspeeding things. He's made to come in and take a hit and set up the rain and get out of there. So he's going to switch out the Togetic now. I go for Perish Song here just in case he's going to try and stay and install or something. Or if he switches something in that wants to try and set up on Politoed, then I can start messing with it. So I go for the Perish Song here. So Tapu Bulu won't be able to stay in for too long if it wants to stay around. And the rain stops here. I was actually like clicking on things, doing damage calcs and writing stuff out, and I missed that the rain went out. I think that happens like quite a few times. I don't count the rain in this match, and it could end up messing me up here. So luckily he goes for Stone Edge, expecting the Tornadus Therian to come in, and then my eject button pushes me out. So it's like, okay, I didn't have to try and play a switch game the following turn because he overpredicted me there. So now I can bring in Tempest and go for the Sludge Wave here. And that should be enough to KO the Bulu, so I'm expecting him to switch, especially because he's got that timer on him, so it's not really worth staying in anyway. So he's going to switch out into the Togetic again, which is going to be able to take the Sludge Wave pretty well, but Sludge Wave combined with Toxic is going to be what's really helping us out here. Because the Toxic takes him just about 50 there a little bit, so another Sludge Wave and a Toxic turn will take him out, but he could probably just roost on that. So I'm just going to U-turn. I didn't know what he planned on doing here. But I can just U-turn back out into Politoed, right? No, into a Crocodile. I was expecting Thunder Wave, so I was going to go into Politoed because he's already paralyzed, but I figured Crocodile would put a little more pressure on him, even if it is a Fairy type against a Dark type. He does go for the Roost here, which I expected. Because that's the only way he'd really survive the turn if I decided to go for Sludge Wave. It wouldn't have let him survive for long, so I probably should have just stayed and went for Sludge Wave, but I was also a little afraid that he'd sack off the Togetic and go for Thunder Wave. So I did switch, is what I'm trying to say. The nice thing about only having one layer of spikes on my side is that he also has grassy terrain, so it kind of counteracts it, which is nice, but that's just a little note I wanted to toss in for you guys. So I go for the Air Tail here because it's super effective on the Togetic, and he switches in Sneasel, and I miss. So there's another hack against me. Perfect. Write that one down on the list, kids. So he gets a little recovery. I don't know if he expects me to switch or not here, but considering Pursuit would be resisted anyway in Crocodile, I'm just going to switch. I'm not going to worry. I'm not going to bother with trying to predict an ice move or not. I'm just going to go into Politoed, because if he knocks off, I don't have an item. If he goes for an ice type move, I resist, and I can get the rain back up. So it's all looking pretty snazzy for switching in Politoed there. So he does go for the Ice Shard. I don't know if I would have lived that with Crocodile. He might have been Choice Banded now that I'm thinking about this, because I haven't seen Life Orb yet. There's also that possibility of Focus Sash or Eviolite, but he does go for Taunt here, and I unfortunately went for Perish Song. I just kind of threw a move out there. I didn't really know what I wanted to do. But this turn I'm going to go for Scald. He switches in the Bulu. I'm like, yes, time for hacks for us. We're going to burn him. And then in my mind I'm like, I'm going to get paralyzed this turn. And sure enough, we get paralyzed this turn. So not even a chance to burn the Bulu to redeem some hacks on our side. I'm like, no, please let me do something here. So I'm just going to leave the Politoed in here. Expecting the rain to actually be around a little bit longer, and he crits again. It doesn't matter. Politoed Woodhammer demolishes us no matter what we do. So Bulu's going to pick up a KO there, and I switch in Kingdra here, so I'm like, now Kingdra can sweep. We got this. Clear Smog will be able to KO the Bulu from this range. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. He's going to switch out the Bulu on this turn into the Sneasel. Clear Smog will not knock out Sneasel. if I would have went for Flash Cannon here, it could have, but here comes a Clear Smog. And, yep, if I would Hidden Power Poison, that might have also knocked out the Sneasel, so, you know, do what we can. But Rain runs out here, because I wasn't counting my turns, like, oh, my Politoed's dead. I should have switched it out instead of letting it go down. I was expecting to have, like, 1 or 2 more turns of Rain, but Politoed was in there messing around for too long, so... No, the Sneasel's going to go for knockoff. I knew I was going to take one, so I just stayed in and went for Flash Cannon. Kingdra's kind of... He's not pointless at this point, but without the Rain... he's a little less effective than he could have been. So I'm just going to let him take out the Sneasel. Maybe we get, like, he outspeeds Bulu still, I think, as long as he's not Choice Scarfed. I haven't confirmed if he's choiced or not yet, just because of him switching out after using a move most of the time. He's going to bring in the Starmie. I figured he had something for Kingdra, switching it in like that, but it looks like he might have been baiting Draco Meteor. I'm not sure, because he just switched right away. Which he would have achieved the same result, I guess, if he had just brought Bulu in to begin with. I don't know. But I switched into Jinx, because I don't really need Jinx anymore. And I could possibly get off a Choice Scarf Lovely Kiss on him. So, now I can go for a Choice Scarf Lovely Kiss here. And as long as he doesn't switch in Togetic, and as long as I hit, something's going to sleep. Unfortunately, he does switch out into the Togetic, though, which is already, excuse me, poisoned. I'm, like, losing my voice. So Jinx isn't going to be able to do anything there, unfortunately. So I'm going to switch my Jinx out into Krook, I believe. Yeah, Crocodile. Because again, maybe we can do some Iron Tail shenanigans and maybe we won't miss. He does go straight for the Dazzling Gleam on my switch in, which doesn't help my case because now I can't take a second one. I'm really ahead of the video. There we go. Dazzling Gleam. It's going to do over, it does like around 50, a little bit more, I guess 55 maybe. So we're not looking so hot. And I'm like, well, I can't really go for Iron Tail now because Iron Tail doesn't KO the Togetic. So I'm going to sack my Crocodile and go for the knockoff to guarantee that Tornadus can KO this thing. So knockoff gets rid of the Violate, brings it down under 50%. If you decide to go for Roost for some reason, we'd be looking pretty neat. And Toxic's going to rack up too. So Sludge Wave will definitely knock out. Crocodile, unfortunately, going to faint here, but it was the sacrifice that we needed to set up the Tornadus to be able to take the rest of the game home. So, in comes Tempest. And Crocodile really couldn't do anything the rest of the match either, so I figured that was just a better play than missing Iron Tail. So, a Sludge Wave will come out from the Tornadus. It'll easily KO... Oops, knocked my pen off the ground, or off the desk. It's going to easily knock out the Togetic when it doesn't, or Togetic when it doesn't have the Violate. In comes the Starmie. Starmie with Life Orb can KO with Ice Beam, but it doesn't outspeed. So I figured he'd have to be Choice Scarf. I forgot about Thunder. Fortunately, finally the hacks come back for us. He misses the Thunder, and Choice Scarf Thunder has a pretty good chance to KO, whereas Supersonic Sky Strike always KOs. So I wasn't calculating for Thunder, so that could have been really bad if it would have hit, because it had a pretty good chance to KO us. And then we would have been left with Kingdra and somebody else who's still alive here, Jinx, which really can't do anything to Starmie. So thankfully, Hacks finally turned around and said, okay, we'll give you a break. Knock out the Starmie. Tapu Bulu's going to come in. I'm like, yes, we can just Sludge Wave. End of the game. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. So I go for Sludge Wave here, as long as he's not... well, I mean, his Starmie is already choice, so I figured Bulu wouldn't be. Sludge Wave will hit the Bulu. Misses the KO by a little bit, so I'm like, oh, damn, he's Assault Vest. So Stone Edge will connect with the Tornadus and knock us out with a critical hit. I think it still had a good chance without the crit. I mean, it doesn't really matter. I mean, he gets one more KO off of that, but now I can bring in either of my Pokemon, knock him out. I was a little worried about Jinx being able to knock him out just because of Assault Vest, because I wasn't going to go for Icy Wind because I don't have Ice Beam. So I went for Psychic. I was calculating that it did, I think it did like 30%. So I was pretty sure that Psychic was going to KO. So I got Jinx to KO at the end there, and we end up picking up a 3-0 against Iyokuu. After Mawile got crit, it got really tense there for a while, and thankfully, I mean, the hacks stopped us from getting the sweep with Mawile, and the hacks at the end, I mean, we want to sweep with Mawile. I say that Mawile would have taken a few more with him, or with her, but I don't think we would have swept because he had enough faster Pokemon. Like, he had Starmie, Bulu was faster, Sneasel was faster. So between those three, they could have gotten Mawile, but he would have taken down at least one more Pokemon with her, sorry. But the Hex at the end brought it back around for us to win. So what can you do? Hex is part of the game. I was getting slightly salty, but I was like, when I was missing everything and getting crit and stuff, and I was like, well, we won because of Hex first week, or not because of Hex, but it helped us to win week 1, and then here we are week 2, Thunder missing. All those electric type moves missing is what's pulling through for us. But anyway, guys, thank you so much for joining us. Again, be sure to go check out Iyokuu channel. Link will be in the description below. As far as the week 3 goes, I did not remember to check. Actually, I think I can check because I have the spreadsheet up because I have been looking at it. Week 3 is against. The spreadsheet is so weird. The Dunfirm Linoons. So I believe they won their week 1. I don't know that their stats are up for week 2 yet. No, they won week 1, but we don't know about week 2 yet. So maybe we'll. I mean, it's probably going to be a tough battle for sure, but. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for joining us. Be sure to like and subscribe if you have not already. I forgot to tell you, we are the Minnesota Wild Charge. I'm assuming you knew already, but maybe you're new. So anyways, thank you so much for joining us. We'll see you next time. Stay sharp, everyone, and go Wild Charge.